Well, thank you all. I am extremely excited, thrilled, and very blessed to have someone that I cannot wait for this interview. His name is Adam. Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Wonderful. I really
Good.
cannot wait to hear your story. I know that we all have a story, we all have a past, but our past does not define us. I believe that what we decide to do with our lives, that's what definitely defined it my life. And I know that that's actually where you're at today. So tell
Right.
us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Adam Sietz, and I've been kind of blessed to live a very fortunate life. I mean, I would say the adversity, yes, I had lots of adversity, but when you compare my adversity to some other people, it was a cakewalk. But at the same point, it was for me, it was my fears, my anxiety, all the things that held me back in life. I was a very young boy, and I was diagnosed with ADHD. As I was telling you before, I was getting in a lot of trouble, and after flipping a desk or two, and just getting caught doing things I probably should have been doing in school, I would end up in the principal's office, and they took a evaluated. He had to be evaluated, so they evaluated me, and they said he's brilliant with a great mind, but he's got severe ADHD, which at the time, I didn't really know what it was, and neither did my parents. But this is in the '70s, so this isn't like, just out of nowhere. It was a true diagnosis, and they were really worried because I was getting in trouble. I couldn't focus. All these things, and they thought there was an issue. Which, again, when they say he's got this deficit and a disorder and a disability, yeah, it kind of messed me up because I kind of felt that way. I felt I was broken. Deficit is not a good word. It's a definition for a child. So I eventually re-diagnosed myself with hyper awareness. Yeah, I have a faster than normal brain, and it worked out pretty well. I ended up going through my schooling. I went to college, and after less than one semester, I told my parents, "Save your money. Don't spend it because there's no way I'm going to continue doing this. I don't like it. I'm not having fun doing it." And one thing I've learned with somebody who has this neurodiverse brain like mine is if it's not something that I have interest in or want to do, I just don't do it. Or I just can't. You can't get me to do it well. And this was as a child. This is a problem. You need them to follow the rules and everything. But as I've grown, as I said, I re-diagnosed and everything changed. I got older. It was to the point where I was 420 plus pounds. I was divorced. I was broke. I was depressed. I was miserable. And my father was a performer years ago before he became a production guy. And he and his partner did very well. It was a double person act. It was a record act. They kind of based off of an old Jerry Lewis act where Jerry used to put an album on, and it was of a woman singing opera. And then Jerry would come out and go, and he would physically mimic it. So they did the same thing for a Spike Jones act, which was Spike was a band that made music out of like a toilet bowl tuba and a kitchen sink drum, but of just wacky stuff. And they did that, and it was really fun. And I loved watching it growing up. And 40 years later, after, because they ended up, Barry got married and he ended up in the advertising and PR world. My father ended up in the production world. And that was that. They made it to the Ed Sullivan show. They were pretty good, but it stopped. It ended in the like early 50s. So years later, 40, 50 years later, they brought the act back because my mother did events and, as the talent and the entertainment, instead of paying anyone to say, Seymour, get on stage. So my dad and his partner would do their thing. One day he couldn't make it. His partner couldn't make it. And he said, Adam, you can
Huh.
go with me today. No. What do you mean, no? No, come on. You know the actor. I need you. It's just me. Barry can't make it. He's snowed in. No, 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 wait. Really? No, no, I'm never. Again, I was 400 pounds. I'd never been on a stage in front of people. But that was now the beginning of my sister, my mother, everyone. The guy who was the janitor. Hey, kid, your father would love you to do the thing. Come on, do the thing with your dad. So eventually I said yes. And we're ready to go. We're getting closer. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience, but when I was younger, like the line at the roller coaster where you're almost there and you're getting closer and slowly but surely you're like, oh yeah, guys, you know what? I'm not feeling good. I'm a little nauseous. It might be something I ate, and you want to bail, you want to run away.
Yes.
And That's what kind of happened. I'm sweaty. I get clammy. I'm in a tuxedo. It's like 5 minutes away. And I'm like, Dad, I don't think I can do this. I think I don't think it's a good idea. He said, hey, listen, I love you. Don't worry about it. If not, I got this. I said, so, okay. So I suck it up. Let's do this. We get up on stage and I'm scared. I'm shaking so much that I start thinking everyone could see me. So I start shaking a little more like purposefully to be overdo it. And I got to laugh. And then we started doing more. And then I'm looking around and I see, oh my gosh, there's 500 plus people here. What am I doing? Oh my gosh, it's my turn. I do my thing, get another laugh. I'm getting goosebumps now. Every time I tell the story, I really get I'm there. And so as we're going on now, I'm like, okay, I think I got this thing. And as it ends, it's a wacky kind of song, but it's a crooner. It starts with some secluded rendezvous. It was Cocktails for Two was the song. And at the end, it's all sweet. And he goes to end it, and I grab the mic from him, and I finished the song, and his face was like, yes, my son is a Stewart brother. So now the story, why I tell the story is because I said no. And if I did not say yes, if I never said yes, my entire life's purpose would have been delayed yet again, because I have story of how this particular purpose of mine was actually introduced to me when I was 16, 17, and I blew it off until I was 28. And it came again in some way, this world of improv. But I said, if I didn't say yes, I would never, ever have done it, because less than 1 month later, he died. So
Wow.
now his company is now my company. My big sister now works for me. We're still going to battle because, again, I'm still her baby brother. So I decided at that point, that 15 seconds into that experience, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, hit me with, wow, this is what you're meant to do. So, not too long after, I started a comedy troupe with another guy who was a master and my mentor in improvisation. I never knew what improv was. I knew stand up comedy, but this was a new art form. What? I don't have to have material. I could just, and I learned it, and it was like a cult. Once you're in, you're in. The mindset, the way the mechanics work in here changed very drastically. Slowly but surely, life started getting better. I ended up divorced. I ended up losing some weight. I ended up getting a television show, then a movie, then cartoons and video games, and then Broadway, and all this wonderful stuff that, again, if I said no, would never happen. So that yes makes a big difference. Now, of course, obviously saying no to things are a good idea when they're not things that are good for you, and you know this intrinsically. That gut instinct, that little voice that you hear, trust that voice, because again, so I like to kind of equate it to the angel and the devil, like you see in certain movies, where
Yes.
the angel pops up.
Yes.
This is the right thing to do. This is what you should do. Then the devil, yeah, but you know what? This will be much better, and you'll get money, or you get whatever it is. And to me, the angel is the spirit, or the universe, or God, again, if you wish, and the angel, the devil, is me or us trying to control the outcome that didn't really go it the way I wanted it. I want to control, and we don't have any control. We could think we do, but man can plan all they want, and God will laugh. So with improvisation, you cannot really plan it. You must literally be experiencing it, watching it, listening, and go, and also trusting in yourself that what you're going to do is worthy. And if it isn't, oh well, I at least tried. I did it. I jumped in, and it's okay, because those little losses are far less than the wins that come my way in doing this kind of way of thinking. Again, unscripted success is more about getting people to think like an improviser. That's really it. I work with corporations. I work with schools. I work with groups of attorneys, groups of realtors, salespeople, CEO groups, and forums with a lot of entrepreneurship. I do a lot of work with that. But my main thing is kind of helping people get out of their own way. That's kind of it.
Well, I could tell you one thing that you're going to learn from me that you didn't know. We're a blended family, and one
Hmm.
of my kids actually has what you have, ADHD.
Hmm.
And for me, it's
Superpower.
been a journey, it's been a ride. I've
Mhm.
learned a lot. Um, and another thing that I'm like impressed that those little voices that you hear, I think that even people that come along your way that tell you that you just cannot or you're not going to achieve or that there's something wrong. I'm glad that you realize that no, that's just the way that you are and that you're created. And I truly believe that we're all created differently because we all have a purpose to fill. And your mission is this. And it would be pretty boring if we would all end up having the same standards or the same, you all could fulfill this a job or this role or the talents. No, I think that we all have different talents for a reason. And I think that the talents that you have bring a lot to the table. And I'm glad that you never gave up. You could have actually said, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to continue pressing on. By the way, we have about 10 more minutes to go, but we're going to make sure that we sum it up. What would you tell someone that is actually listening here and they've been diagnosed with ADHD and they feel that their world is going to, break loose? They're not ever going to fulfill their purpose.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself because I had you know, how you were worried about a dog. I have a 95-year-old mother-in-law who I take care of with my kids and my mom and my wife. And she was just calling me outside, so I just did a pause. And as you couldn't hear me, I was screaming to answer. So I
Okay.
apologize for being muted. But
Uh,
for me, again, it's just get out of your head and trust that you're okay. You really are okay, just the way you are. If you were supposed to be something different, you would be, but you're not. You're you. And you are really okay just the way you are. And most of the things that are upsetting, I can only speak for me. I can't talk for anyone else, but I can tell you most of the things that were getting me down and upsetting me were created by me in my own head, thinking about something, obsessing about something that is not doing any good for me, that I have no power over in this exact moment. It's about yesterday or tomorrow. That stuff is not focused on in my mind. I mean, I have to be mindful of what's going on in my life. I have bills to pay. I've got children to take care of. As I just said, a 95-year-old mother-in-law, a lovely wife, and all this stuff. But at the same point, I deal with the now, and the key is to stay focused on the now. Look, listen, and you learn. And I got that in elementary school. It was written on a wall. I said, what a brilliant statement. Look, listen, and learn, because that's how improv works. Improvisation really works when you're feeling it, you're seeing it, you're sensing it. It's all coming in. There's nothing going out, it's all input. And then something triggers something, and trust and go. That it took a long time for me to get to that point. So it's not easy. It is simple, but it's not easy. Same thing with losing weight. I mean, I lost 170 pounds of weight. How? Well, it's simple. It's not easy. Eat less than you burn off. Bam, you lose weight. It's mathematics. Who knew? I put on a Fitbit. I started logging the food, and I actually saw what I was eating and how much it actually cost in calories. As a dollar is calories a dollar. I spend 1,500 a day if I can help it. Once in a while, it goes a little over, and I burn off almost 3,000 a day. So in general, I'm staying in that area, but it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. It's nothing that's going to just happen overnight. But I understand I created something. I call it my own personal life coach, and it's Larry. And I came out of working with a young, he was a guy going into college, and his ADHD, really high functioning, but extremely having difficult realizing how to deal with these things and getting other people to understand we're not you. And communication with relationships is very difficult with somebody like me. So what I do, first of all, number one, is I make it clear to any new relationship that I'm going to be in, whether it's working or friendship or whatever. Hey, listen, my brain works a little differently than the rest, and I can go left, right, up, down, and it's like it's impulse control, it's thought process, it's a superpower in certain
yes.
ways, and in times it will definitely get in the way. So I have something I call fire truck, which happened years ago in the middle of something. We're getting notes after a show, and the director's like, "Look at Adam. Look, he's gone. He's lost." Because there was a fire truck driving by, and he saw my face. Like, so ever since then, we use the word fire truck when I'm going off on some tangent that has nothing to do with what it is that we're trying to get across, which might have happened in this and that is that conversation we're having now. But that
Yes.
fire truck is mindful for me to go, oh, you're right. And it's nothing that offends me. It doesn't make me upset. It helps you to understand that I know I do it, but sometimes when I'm doing it, I don't know I'm doing it. So it's helpful for those to understand that, hey, my wife, for example, she said, last, can you get me some water, honey? Sure. And I came back with a banana for me. That's her
What,
life.
Adam, I have to say this because of the time shorting down. We will
Yes.
have to have you again because
Oh,
I
my
think
pleasure.
that ADHD has a lot nowadays, and I think that back in the day as well, but it was not so easy to diagnose,
Yeah.
just like dyslexia and some other. And now that we're able to know more about it, definitely we're able to overcome it. So I definitely thank you for being here today. And I
My
know
pleasure.
that we will have you again because I've learned and I continue to learn a lot with my son, and you have a lot to offer. And I think that you are a true blessing for people, and
Well,
to
thank
be
you. You
willing to
too.
share this. I feel very honored and privileged to have you here. So
Well,
thank you.
thank you.
And thank you all for being here today and being part of this legacy of love of my mother, and knowing that it is well at times not to be well. So thank you so much for being here with me
Let me
and
give
with
you a
Adam.
little something, if I
Yes,
can. Let me give a little giveaway to your
yes,
guests that are watching.
yes,
I just did a couple of summits in this past month.
yes.
And one of the things I did was I gave away something from this book. There's a chapter about what is funny, how is funny, what is it that makes you funny? Can you become funny? All the and I literally took that whole thing out and wrote an entire book based on that. And it's called The Funny is a Factor. And if you go to adamsietz.com, that's Adam, SIETZ.com /summit giveaway, it's my gift to you. You're welcome to go get it. You can buy it on Amazon, but again, as I said, I don't care about the dollar. I'd like to give this to anyone, and you could share it with anyone. And it kind of shows you how to mine the funny out of everyday life and every experiences. And what is it? Those little formulas and little tricks of the trade that help to mine the humor out of whatever it is you're doing. So please go check that out. AdamSietz.com /summit giveaway and give yourself a present. It's my gift.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Be well,
Thank
everyone.
you.